Hey everyone, a really warm welcome back to the channel. You guys are up on a selfie stick poll, so I hope you're getting an interesting view here. Anyway, this is the Heimer Eriba stand, and I have to say I'm really impressed with what Heimer have turned up with this year. You know, Eriba caravans are usually shoved in the corner somewhere, and it's usually only the touring series that turns up because one of the dealerships brings them. But they've put on a really good show this year, so I'm so impressed and happy with Heimer. Anyway, we're going to go and look at this thing, which is the Eriba Feeling. This is a 442, and you may be sick of the sound of my voice by the end of this video, because this is the thing I can blabber on at length about, of course, because I own one of these things. Now, they've brought one today, but interestingly, as I said, it's the 442, so that's basically the same as mine, with a front dinette, wardrobe, bathroom in the middle, and a kitchen opposite. But this one has longitudinal beds, so head at the back, feet at the front, or whichever way you want to sleep, I guess. Whereas mine's got the transverse bed, so somebody has to climb over the top of everybody else if there are two adults in the back. This is probably the one I would have gone for had it been available when I bought mine in February 2017. Yeah, I've had that for 5 years now. Anyway, this is the Feeling series, and they've brought this one with the optional pop top, the big pop top roof, the sleeping roof, whereas the normal ones just have a normal pop top roof, so it gives you an extra 30 centimeters or so. This one has a king size bed in the roof. And then around the side here you've got electrical hookup and water hookup, because these things have a 45 litre onboard tank. And I do wish they wouldn't put these on steel wheels, but anyway, steels are standard, alloys are an option, and this one has the optional massive side flap, which is fantastic. We use our side flap all the time because you can get proper chairs in there. And then coming inside, and there's the giveaway for what the upstairs is, and that's the two-piece aluminium ladder. We have got the bathroom at the front, which is actually the other way around from mine. I've got the wardrobe at the front, but of course because this has got longitudinal beds, that's heads at the back, feet at the front, or the other way around I guess, but you should be level, so that should be fine. So because it's got longitudinal beds, the wardrobe is next to the beds, otherwise the bathroom, washroom would stick out too far to make it impossible for the person on that side to get out of bed. Can you believe it? You'd have 6 berths in here. So 2 at the back in a 2 metre by 2 metre bed, 2 upstairs in a 150 by 2 metres bed, and 1 or 2 at the front in a 130 narrowing to 99 or 1 metre by the full 2 metres. So plenty of sleeping space, which of course is consistent with a lot of mainland European made vans, because the sort of caravanning style is living outside and then just towing the caravan effectively as a mobile bedroom. I mean, most of the cooking is done outside, most of the sitting and eating and chatting and all that stuff. These things are a bit dark because of the pop top roof. Then obviously you've got the bed above you, so you haven't got a skylight above you, which means it does get quite dark, and it's a small space. I saw actually at the back there was some extra lighting above the bed, so it's good that they've addressed that. I had to put loads of extra lighting in mine, so mine is fine now. And here's the view during the day when you've got that bed surface popped up. So just like a camper van, you can push the bed surface up and down. I can walk under it with the bed down perfectly fine, but if you're 6 foot or something, you're really going to struggle, I think, when the bed surface is down, to be able to walk straight, not hunched. So just bear that in mind if you're thinking about one of these things. No problem during the day, plenty of space, but if you've got the bed down and you're really tall, you might struggle. So washroom here, thank goodness they've changed the way they do that space around the wheel, so how they cover the wheel arch, because in mine they've got it boxed off, and I have to tell you, as a girl, okay, for anybody who sits down, too much information, that wheel arch boxed off is an absolute pain in the neck. It really is, because you can't get your knee in properly because it's a bench toilet, you can't rotate it. So it's really good to see that they've addressed that. You know, somebody's actually thought about how people are using these things, and the 2 towel hanging rails. So a little look in the wardrobe. So in here we've got all the master electrics, So the fuse box for the mains. Nice to see that the cabling for the trimmer control unit and so on, which we'll see in a moment, is all covered up, so it's all protected from the inside. Now, interestingly, in this cupboard down here, they've not boxed off the wheel arch, which they have in mine. So it's a bit messier, really. But also, actually, on this one, they've kept the heating pipe inside, whereas mine goes out and underneath the floor, and it's an insulated pipe, obviously, because it's outside, and it comes back in. So yeah, plenty of space in this kitchen. Cutlery drawer here, other drawers, cupboards. I'm really impressed with this, actually, what they've managed to do here. In mine, it's not the best use of space, because I've just got a bit of a dumping hole. And then there's the other wheel arch. I get an awful lot of condensation in my cupboards around the wheel arches, because the wheel arches aren't insulated at all in the winter. So one of the projects I'm going to be working on is putting a bit of closed cell insulation around there this winter. And then there are no backboards or seat boards or anything like you get in quite a lot of the UK level 3 rated vans. So the heat pipes that go under the seats here, that heat doesn't come up very well. So that's another thing that could really do with doing. Sorry, I'm having a bit of trouble with the gimbal at the moment, so sorry if I'm rocking you a bit. And then we have more. So these tambour doors open, and the storage goes all the way through right to the front there. So that's really good space. And it does give a great ambience in here, which is really nice indeed. So you've got the big window at the top here, which has, now it just has insect mesh on. What I've done for mine is made an extra plastic panel, so that can be open even in the sort of driving wind you get off the cliffs at Truethit. So yeah, nice colour here on the worktop. It's a shame there isn't a sort of plastic, not plastic, glass protector on the end there, just to stop stuff, dripping or falling onto the bed. Or indeed a little shelf on the end, that would be handy during the day to make the space of that, most of that space above the bed itself. Anyway, bed at the back here, and an infill cushion is available if you want your feet to go together. So yeah, messy wallboard at the back though, that's annoying that they've left that seam quite so obvious. I don't like that. But yeah, I'm really happy with what they've done with this extra lighting, because back here it can get very dark indeed, even in the middle of the day, because that's not a sky. It would be nice if that was a skylight at the back, wouldn't it? I think, rather than just a vent. It's a decent big vent, so the caravan is ventilated nicely during the all the time. I'm not convinced by these curtains personally, but no, everybody has their tastes. And trimmer control unit and switches and power things over there. And let's go and have a look up and see what's going on with this roof. So the one disappointing thing for me looking up here is that this roof looks exactly the same as mine. The roof is made separately by a company called SCA, and they're really, really well known in the camper van roof market. So the reason I'm annoyed and frustrated looking at this is that this appears to be exactly the same as mine, and mine gets terrible condensation in the winter, even when I'm opening the caravan every time I possibly can. So every time it's not raining, the caravan roof is open, airing and ventilating and so on. Switch to the phone. Hopefully the sound is still okay. And I'm up in the roof, and I've got a little bit of, well, not much have I, a little bit of space over my head. And I'm up in the roof because this is absolutely the best bit and the worst bit of this caravan. It's the worst bit because Heimer need to sort out these condensation issues. If you've been following the channel for a while, you'll know I get a lot of condensation up here on the underside of this roof because it's so badly insulated. We have no condensation problems at all when it's in use, because we've got the blown air going, we've got ventilation going. There's no issue at all when it's in use. It's when it's in storage that's the problem, because this roof surface is so badly insulated, it just condensates all the time, constantly. This underside gets wet, so we get mold spores growing, even though I'm opening it up every single time it's not raining throughout the winter because I work from home. So it's just open all the time, much more than the once every 3 weeks Heimer instructed us to. And they really need to sort it out. And now I'm going to I've got some parts to drill a hole in the back there and put an extra vent in now that mine's gone out of warranty, because Heimer have flatly ignored all the requests for help I made in the first few years of ownership and said it must have been my fault. Clearly it isn't. It's basic science. If you've got warm air touching a cold surface, you're going to get condensation. Anyway, this is also the best bit of this caravan, because you can just buy one caravan that will last through the whole of your kids' lives, and you don't have to bother with the rigmarole of swapping it all the time. You know, when they're really, really tiny, they can fit in the bed downstairs with you at the back because it's 2 meters wide, it's 2 meters long, and they're a little bit bigger. They're toddlers. You know, they can go in the dinette at the front. It's 130 at one end, 1 meter at the other end. So in fact they'll fit lengthways on that for you know, until they're sort of beginning school age, I would have thought. And then as soon as they're old enough, they can come upstairs into the bed here. There's a safety net that covers the gap between the bed and above the ladder, so they can't fall out. None of their pillows can fall out. It's great. So you could just buy one caravan. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Anyway, I'm Eriba, UK. Heimer, if you watch this, sort out the insulation in this roof up here, and this thing is phenomenal. It tows beautifully. I don't get any of that push and pull that I used to get off my folding camper on this. It's got those AAA self-adjusting brakes. The weight's really low. It is fantastic. Anyway, sort the roof up, Heimer. Everybody else, thanks so much for watching. Really great to have you along for the ride on the channel. Do the thumbs up and the subscribe if you wouldn't mind. That would be fantastic. I have left my 360 camera downstairs, so I will climb down from here, press the go button, and finish this video off with a little panorama for you. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and catch you in the next one. Bye for now. See ya!